What happens when your breakdown isn't private? What happens if you become famous and the media constantly covers your every move? With that being said, let's take a look at some of the most infamous Hollywood meltdowns of all time. Christian Bale comes in first. Bale had been up for nearly 48 hours preparing for filming. Unfortunately, everything was going horribly wrong on set, and he was having a hard time keeping his cool. At that point, a cameraman entered the frame. Then, Bale lost it, as he started using foul language and making threats toward the workers. Bale eventually expressed regret for his actions. Marilyn Monroe comes in next. She is a legend whose legacy will endure for all time. Whether it's a commercial from the late 90s or one of her iconic films from the 50s or 60s, Marilyn Monroe has always been associated with glamour and beauty. But she was very different from her cute on-screen personality when she flipped. Marilyn had a weeping fit during one of her many meltdowns on set. She had trouble keeping her lines straight, and every time she fluffed a line, she'd bolt for her trailer and refuse to return on set. That's how unhappy with herself she'd get. Marilyn's co-workers in the 50s and 60s reportedly vowed never to work with her again after that. As for Tom Cruise, he has earned a reputation as one of the most admired actors in the business. He had appeared in a number of box office successes, including the Mission Impossible series. At this point in his career, everything Cruise did was successful. But after his iconic display on Oprah, that would soon alter. Tom was so excited during his 2005 appearance with Oprah that he started bouncing on the couch. He was unable to maintain focus, which not only surprised Oprah but everyone else as well.
We've never seen you behave this way before.
I know.
Have you ever felt this way before?
After the fiasco, she was at a loss for words. As soon as the show aired, speculation about Cruise's involvement with Scientology grew. Thankfully, this drama didn't do much to affect his career. Now, what would cause a perfect gentleman like George Clooney to lose his temper? Believe it or not, he did. But the situation wasn't as dire as it seemed at first glance. Clooney has a reputation as one of the nicest people you'll ever meet in Hollywood. He cares deeply about others and is a genuinely kind person. Finding fault with the man is a Herculean task. That's why it came as such a surprise when things heated up on the set of Three Kings. Clooney and director George O. Russell reportedly had a heated argument at the beginning of filming. According to Clooney, Russell frequently verbally abused the staff. Clooney spotted him engaging in his usual rude behavior and decided to confront him. Clooney then pushed Russell after telling him to stop yelling at them. There was a brief exchange of blows, but the situation was soon resolved. After that movie, they headed in different directions and have not worked together since. Now, it may appear that some celebrities are naturally drawn to scandal, but Charlie Sheen may be the master of the art. Sheen has never had it easy, as seen by his tumultuous lifestyle revolving around drugs and women. Despite his early success in the 1980s, Sheen struggled with substance use. However, Charlie Sheen's problems didn't become widely known until 2012. Sheen was scheduled to be a guest on The Today Show and give an interview. But as you can imagine, the interview didn't go as smoothly as expected. Charlie was acting really weirdly. He frequently spoke in jumbled, incoherent mumbles, and one of his most well-known assertions concerned the existence of tiger blood. His public breakdown on national television just added to the speculation that he was struggling with illicit substances. Eventually, he didn't have a choice but to admit that he had issues. The rapper Vanilla Ice is next, and his fame as a musician exploded in the early 90s. After the release of Ice Ice Baby, his name began to appear everywhere. But despite being a worldwide celebrity, he only enjoyed a brief period of prominence. Ice released new music in an effort to maintain his profile, but it seemed as though his star had already set. As the time went by, and as hardcore rap music began to take the forefront, hip-hop fans became less interested in his music. But he wasn't ready to let his fame go, so he did a bunch of reality shows and other publicity stunts. He was included on MTV's Lame 25 back in 1999, and he is credited with having one of the worst video shoots of all time. Ice lost his cool on set when he wasn't performing well and started getting some stick from the film crew. And with a bat in hand, he started wrecking the set. Now, using profanity is one thing, but trashing props during filming? That's a different kind of rage altogether. Speaking of rage, Michael Richards is the next celebrity we'll be looking at. We can all agree that Friends dominated the 90s as far as sitcoms are concerned, but another comedy that stands shoulder to shoulder with it is Seinfeld. The show, which had the reputation of being about nothing, ran for several seasons and spawned several well-known sayings. Michael Richards was the highlight of the show, and he rose to fame thanks to his portrayal of the bumbling and eccentric Kramer on the sitcom. During a stand-up performance in 2006, however, Richards' reputation would change. Richards launched into a weird rant during his stand-up set. He randomly started using racial slurs, much to the disgust of the audience. It wasn't a minor outburst either, as he continued talking for several minutes. It was a strange situation, but he eventually apologized for his actions. No one knows what set him off on that raving spree. Marlon Brando and Robert Duvall will have to share this next spot. Now, there's a reason why old movies are still popular. This is simply because of their amazing qualities. They're able to connect with viewers and convey a message in a way that other films simply can't. This was the response of 1970s moviegoers to The Godfather, an epic about the mafia. It blew everyone away and was honored with multiple accolades. But you will be surprised to find out that the set was plagued by frequent meltdowns, given the plethora of talented actors, including Al Pacino and Marlon Brando. These breakdowns aren't conventional mental breakdowns, but rather a series of comical incidents. Robert Duvall and other young actors often mooned their co-stars. That was a normal occurrence for them, but not for Marlon Brando. During a particular break in filming, Brando proceeded to moon his co-stars. For those who don't know, mooning is the act of displaying one's bare buttocks in public by removing clothing. It's not exactly a regular occurrence, but no reasonable person does it. Moving on, Jerry O'Connell rounds up our list. He was one of the teenage actors in the famous coming-of-age film Stand By Me, and the child star was loved and admired by all, even when his behavior could have prompted a change of opinion. One time, when Jerry O'Connell was filming, he hurriedly skipped off the set. He needed to get out of the theater for a while, and there was a bus stop not far away. Jerry, bravely striking out on his own, decided to go to the fair. He was then cheered up by the arrival of some freshly baked cookies. However, eating these cookies would lead to his now infamous breakdown. After searching for him, the film crew eventually found O'Connell furiously crying under a tree. It was later discovered that the cookies had been laced with drugs, but no one knows who put them in. The video crew took a couple of days off so the boy could rest and recuperate after what must have been a traumatic experience.